So I've been sent some new watercolour paper by Ohuhu. So I'm just going to try this out today in today's video. So I think it's a cotton paper, or I think it's partially cotton. So I'll be interested to see what it's like. So I think it's Whimsical Cotton Topped Watercolour Pad Cold Pressed. Looks nice. You can see it's got a lovely texture. Does it feel like... Right, so they've very generously sent me 2 pads. I'll just leave this one in the box. And she also sent me this. This is just a gift. She said this is just for you. It's not really for to show in a video or anything. It's just a gift really, and look at that, isn't that lovely? So these are water-based markers. I might try them in this. I'm going to do watercolour. I fancy doing a cat, and I'm going to do kind of watercolour and possibly mixed media, so I might use these as well, because as they're water-based they should work well on watercolour paper. And it also comes with a lovely colouring book, which I've already swatched them out. Yeah, just some kind of nice colouring pages. I was actually doing this one when I was recovering from my operation, because it was handy to have on the, just downstairs on the sofa with me. So I never got it finished, but yeah, really convenient. Little travel case there. And I think I'm going to use the Gansai Tambi paints today as well. So what I'll do is I'll upload the line drawing. I'm just going to draw out a cat. If you want to follow along, I will upload I'll trace it afterwards and upload it to my Patreon page if you wanna. You can use that if you want to paint along, or I'm just going to do like really simple, so you could possibly just draw it yourself as well if you like to. So it's a fairly large sheet of paper, so I think I will just tape it to this board. I'm going to add a tape border around the edges first of all. I'm making it nice and deep. Then I'm going to tape that down as well. I really love working with watercolour blocks now. I just think they're the best. And then I'm using some wide masking tape just to secure it to the mat. And I'm just going to sketch out a cat, just a really simple cat. Make the ears a little bit skinnier, so I'm just kind of doing a round bit at the bottom, 2 kind of spiky ears, and then just kind of a little top of the head there. I think I want the face to be a little bit wider. A super skinny neck, and then just kind of a bit of a body shape at the bottom. Just keeping it super simple. So I'm just wanting it to look whimsical, not really, obviously not realistic, just a whimsical cat. And then just a skinny little tail. I'm going to do a few little flowers. Going to do some massive eyes. Just do a little teeny weeny nose. I feel like I want to start drawing cats. I haven't done it before now. I think I've got a fear of drawing because I'm not very good at drawing, and I think I just need to let go and just do whimsical stuff just to like build up a bit of confidence with drawing. And I absolutely love the whimsical style, so I want to do like a really kind of painterly, kind of grungy background. So I'm going to cover the cat in masking fluid, I'm going to use these to spread the masking fluid about. I always get asked about these, what these tools are. So these are called Silicone sculpting tools, and you get them in packs of different shapes. I think I got mine on either AliExpress or Tambi. You can get them on Amazon as well. But they're great for spreading masking fluid, because masking fluid really ruins your brushes. It just all clogs and gets stuck in your brushes. I'm going to use this little small pointy one. This one's good for small areas. Just going to cover them up with masking fluid so that we can paint the background and leave these parts white, and then paint them later on. I'm using a larger one for the cat, and I'm probably not going to fill the whole thing in. I'm just going to go around the edges. Yeah, so Ohuhu, they sent me some alcohol markers, which are absolutely brilliant. I love them, with a tiny little brush end called the mini brush, and I used them on my other channel, my colouring channel. I was doing some colouring with those and I absolutely loved them, so I ended up buying the other set because they've got 2 sets. And so the lady has asked me if I'd like to try out some of the watercolour paper on my watercolour channel, so I said yeah, I'll give it a go. So I'm pretty sure she's given me some links in the email. If you want to go and have a look at it, there'll be links underneath to the Ohuhu site. I'm going to add maybe just some little random dots as well, as though there's kind of flowers in the background. I did watch a video from somebody else, I can't even remember. It was an artist, it was like an art video, and this person she didn't actually name Ohuhu, but she was implying that she'd got that somebody had approached her from a company and she wasn't going to say the name, and it was about some watercolour paper that they're sending out to a lot of YouTube artist channels, and that is obviously what Ohuhu are doing with this paper. And she said they were telling her what she had to say in the video and stuff like that, but she didn't actually say it was Ohuhu, but I think that's who she meant, because some people said in the comments below, asked if it was Ohuhu, and that absolutely not my experience with this company whatsoever. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because the person who I'm dealing with is really, really lovely, no pressure whatsoever. Perhaps that other person got a different person from Ohuhu who kind of was trying to get people to say this, that and the other. But I mean, there's just no way I'm going to pretend something's good if I don't like it, and I've no idea what this paper's like until I've finished the picture, and then I'll give you my honest opinion. So I just hope nobody thinks that I'm being scripted by Ohuhu, because I'm not. Right, just going to leave that to dry for an hour or so and then come back and get the paint on. I'm going to choose some colours for the background, and I want a nice kind of blue theme, so I think I'm gonna use these 2 out of this set, the cobalt turquoise and the pale aqua. So I'm going to paint the background first, and I've got 5 colours, so cobalt turquoise light and pale aqua for the sky area, and for the grassy area at the bottom I'm going to use olive green and sap green and maybe a little bit of raw umber deep. So with some clean water, I'm going to wet the whole of the page around the cat. So just all of the background area. I'm using this mop brush, I think it's a mop brush or a quill brush, because they're more absorbent and they'll hold a lot of water. And we want that paper to be kind of saturated. Now I'm going to get the darker blue on the brush. Oh, look at how amazing that spreads. Just kind of drop it in around the edges. Do want it to be quite strong. I'm going to do that mainly kind of around the edges. I want it to be a bit lighter in the middle. So now I'm going to get the lighter colour and drop that in. I want it to be kind of patchy. Don't really want it to be smooth. I want to create a real patchy look. I'm going to get a little bit of the light green. Just kind of drop it in, just in somewhere, just dab it in a little bit, kind of in the mid area. And some of the darker green kind of at the bottom. Just to kind of indicate some background grass. I'm going to switch brushes and I'm going to get some of this, the darker blue, neat on the brush. And drop that in because I want it to be quite thick. I don't want to paint this in layers, so I want to get some strong colour down. Just kind of cleaning the brush. Get a little bit of the brown, just adding a few little bits of that in, just here and there. Just let it kind of mingle in. I'm going to flick some water on this because it's looking a bit too smooth and I want it uneven. So while it's still damp, flick some water on it. Because we just want it nice and messy, even on some of these bits as well. And then I'm going to drop some white ink. So this is just white acrylic ink. And I'm just going to drop some of this in. Just see what happens. Just kind of experiment. Just a few little drops. Oh, a little bit more water to help mess it all up a little bit. I'm just going to leave that to completely dry. Just go away for an hour or so. Leave it to dry. And then maybe add something else over the top, just see what it looks like. So you can see it's kind of warped quite a lot with the water, but I have put a lot of water on it. But hopefully, because it's got all the tape around the edge, it'll dry flat again. Okay, so this is it dried. I think it's dried really nice. I kind of like that, and I wasn't expecting the white bits to look like clouds, but they kind of do, so that's quite nice. I'm going to add a little bit more texture on top of this. I'm going to use this really rough brush. It's actually a little bit wet, so I'm going to get most of the moisture off here and get some of this brown from before. Just get a little bit. I'm going to do kind of a dry brush effect. I'm just going to practice first of all. So that's a little bit too watery. I'm going to try and get some more water off the brush. And I think I'm going to try and take it right from the pan. It's a little bit damp from earlier. Yeah, and I want to do some of this kind of thing, just to give it a kind of grungy look. And it's hard to do it if there's too much water on the brush. I'm going to do it with this olive green as well. So now I'm testing to see if the masking fluid will come off this paper okay, and it kind of looks like it is. So the paper seems to be holding up well with the removal of the masking fluid. None of the paper is tore. Next I'm going to mix up some colours for the cat, and I want it to be nice and orange against the kind of blue background. So I'm going to use Mars Yellow, which is kind of a rusty orange. Probably going to drop some vermilion in there as well to brighten it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more ready. I've also got a couple of pinks. I've got Rose Madder Deep and Purple, which is a very pinky colour, and also some of the Raw Umber Deep. So I've got a small round brush. It's one of the silver black velvet ones, number 6. They hold quite a lot of water, so I'm going to use this to add water to the head area. I'm going to leave the eyes dry. To be kind of lighter to the bottom, so I'm not going to drop any strong colour in there, maybe just a little bit just around the bottom edge to give just a little bit of shade on there. But I want kind of like a white muzzle I think the word is. Drop a little bit of red in just to brighten it up a little bit. Then I'm going to get some of that pink in there as well, give it a bit of variety. Brush, dabbing all the excess water off, just trying to make it lighter around this area, lifting some of that back out, dabbing it back onto the sponge, and you can just kind of carve out the colour on the wet area, maybe a little bit strong. It'll probably dry lighter, but I'll just take some little bits out because it just looks like a bit like a solid colour, and I want it to be a little bit uneven looking. Not bothered about the eyes being perfect or anything. I want it to look really whimsical if possible. And then I'm just going to do the same for the body with the same colours. So the paper is kind of buckling like a cellulose paper, but you can kind of tell that there is cotton on the surface, just the way the pen kind of spreads onto the paper. It does kind of feel like cotton. So yeah, I think it's a nice in-betweeny. kind of paper. And I've got something pretty exciting lined up. Hopefully it'll be coming in the next couple of videos. So it's a massive giveaway by Maiden, the art supply company. They're giving away 3 huge prizes. They've approached me and said that I have to pick 3 winners, and each of the winners are going to win a massive bundle of Maiden art supplies. So how exciting is that? So watch out from the next couple of videos. They've approached me and asked me if I want to participate, and I've said yes, but we'll just wait and see if it happens. Yeah, so that's something to look forward to, and I'm thrilled that they've asked me to take part. And I'm going to use some of those colours to paint some of these flowers just loosely. Get some of those colours in the background as well. I've switched to a smaller brush and I'm going to wet the whole of the eye area. And then I'm going to mix some of these colours together in the middle and try and create a kind of mid colour just from all these. And then I'm just going to drop that in around the edge of the eyes to give them a rounded shape. Dab the brush off and wipe out of the middle, clean the brush, get all the water off the brush, and then lift that out the middle. So it's giving a little bit of a 3D effect. Got a little bit of stronger brown right in the edge of my brush, and I'm just going to go right around the edge. So I think I'm going to add some stripes to the cat now. So I'm going to introduce some black, and I'm going to mix it with this brown. So we're going to have like a browny black. And I think I'll use the little flat brush that I got from the little Fumui set. It's a fairly small flat. I'm going to make a bit of a watery version. Start creating some stripes.
Come on, soft, turn the key and cool her off. Push the pause for relief. Free pass, you don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today.
I'm going to have to get rid of these, I really don't like them.
Okay, to leave a little bit undone.
So I've removed some of the brown. Thought it was a little bit too dark, but I also want to add some more blue in. So I've removed some of the brown outer layer. I'm going to add a little bit more of the blue back in to try and cover some of these white bits that I don't like. Hopefully it won't look too dirty now that I've removed most of the brown paint, if that makes sense. Oh, it's getting windy. So let's see if I can paint blue over the top. Yep, I think I can. Yeah, I think put a little bit more dark here, it'll make the face stand out. Oh yeah, that really makes the bottom of the face stand out a lot more as well. Then I'll just get some of the lighter stuff just underneath. think while that's still wet, I'll get some white ink again. Don't want to drop too much on there. I like that little, oops. I should have done that differently. Maybe just make it, oh yeah, it's running now. It's running now that I'm adding a little bit of water. Just throw a little bit of water on it. And just see what happens. I'm going to paint a little kind of circle of white around the cat's eyes. I just want to jazz the face up a bit. It's getting so windy. So we've had like super hot few days in the UK, and it's the weather's changing, so we might get some thunder. Okay, I've closed the window. I'm going to give some big blue eyes. Not trying to make them even. And then make them a little bit lighter in the middle. Okay, I'm going to have to even it up. It's getting on my nerves. I'm going to have to bring this down a little bit more. Just didn't look right. So I'm going to add a little bit of dry brush technique because this is dried a little bit dull. So using a dry brush technique like this, I'm going to add some neat colour just in some areas, just to bring the colour strong again in just some little parts. And I'm going to add a shadow across here. I want to try and make the eyes like really three-dimensional and pop out.
Every empty spreadsheet line, loosen up on the grind, simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today. I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone. Be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun.
I forgot that I was going to try and use some of these. Forgot all about them. I'll see if I can go over some of these flowers, and then I'm going to go over the top with gouache. I'm just going to have a tiny little experimentation with these. I suppose actually this type of thing will be good for adding like details onto watercolour paintings. I mean, I'm not really that keen on colouring with water-based alcohol markers, but these could definitely be used alongside watercolour painting like this, I think. And then because they're water soluble, should be able to easily blend. Yeah, that's good for adding a little bit of intensity to the colour as well. Do you know what? This actually, I've literally just thought of this now. This could be a good little cheat for watercolour, couldn't it? Just adding these little bits of colour. I'm going to use some gouache now, and I'm going to add some more green areas down at the bottom. Try and add some foliage and tidy it up a little bit because it's looking a little bit too muddy. Get some of that white gouache, and I'm just going to try and make the eyes look glossy by adding a few dots. I'll do the same on this one. And I'm going to kind of roughly outline everything, but I definitely want it to look kind of rough, you know, just not neat. Whiskers. Right, let's see if the masking tape comes off the paper. It does. That is coming off that brilliantly. So the paper, I do like it, I really do. It has buckled, you can see it's a little bit buckled, but it's not 100% cotton, so it's going to do that. I will definitely absolutely use the rest of this paper, and it really does feel like cotton on the top. And I forgot to add some white highlights, so I'm just going to use this white gouache. Gonna leave it like that. I think it's quite cute. Still think it's a little bit muddy around this area, but I think I will definitely be trying out more cats in the future. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.